Testing, testing, testing. Hey, everyone. Just making sure y'all can hear me. Let me do my test. Hope everybody is enjoying their Monday. Monday. I had to think about it. Let me see. All right, perfect. So the setup is a little different right now. We are using one of our travel mics. Shout out to my bro for making me realize I had a mic that I could use. I almost went and bought a cheap mic. And yeah, we got some news today. We got some headlines, mostly about sports. NIL, Trump assigned the executive order. UNC basketball hired head coach Mike Malone, professional head coach, technically, former. But is it really a difference between hiring a professional coach, a professional NBA coach to college? Is there really a difference now? And then the last one, a lot of programs are being cut, and that's not even the full scale of everything. So we got some topics to cover. So I hope y'all enjoyed your Monday, though, man. You know, it's not Monday. Why keep saying Monday? Tuesday. Hope y'all enjoyed your Tuesdays. Tuesday. Mine gone, y'all. Yeah, Tuesday. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all Tuesday. As we get ready for Wednesday, then Friday Eve, then Friday. And then as y'all can see, traveling. Where is please, if you do stop in for a little bit, go watch YouTube video we just posted. I changed the title like 3 times because I'm trying to get people to go watch it. I'm trying to figure out the algorithm too, because the algorithm I believe changed this year in 2027, and so a lot of things are a little different. It seems like they switched it up a little bit. Some things seem the same, some things seem different. Seems like less people are looking for my higher education channel, so go watch that. You stop by for a little bit. It's only 17 minutes. It's only about it's about University of Tennessee. If you are considering to attend the University of Tennessee, if you are in the area. Let me share this with you all right here. I don't really need sound right now for this. Disclaimer. Remember that the videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend the institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution. I am not, during this live stream, I don't represent any institution. I represent myself, speaking on behalf. And remember that we are speaking from our experience, our experience of going to college, working in a college, going to college, working in a college, graduating from college, and like really just giving you that real life experience that you just wouldn't get on campus tours or anything. Like looking for information on how to save money in school. So with that being said, let's get to it. So much. All right, so much. So I said UNC. I said Coach Mike Malone first, which is interesting. I was looking for a video. There's plenty of videos, though. I was looking for a video, but I used the video to make a thumbnail. But now I'm looking for... Hold on right quick. These are long videos, too. We ain't looking for nothing crazy long. More like on a... What was I going to do? I was looking for more on the... That's the end of it. That's too long. It's like if it's not long or long enough. So I could just show you the post though. Let me see. Close some stuff. All right. Some people might know deeper more about this than I do. We're mostly high. Well, this is higher ed, but this is definitely sports heavy today. All right. So North Carolina, University of North Carolina, the school Michael Jordan went to, the baby blue, that North Carolina. They hired Michael Malone as basketball head coach. He's a former Denver Nuggets head coach. That was my favorite team. I don't really watch sports like that no more. But he is hired as the University of North Carolina basketball coach. Why is this a big deal? Because remember that the University of North Carolina, this camera's at that weird angle. I kind of want to move it for y'all real quick. So the University of North Carolina, I feel like I'm trying to, like it's kind of like, there you go. So the University of North Carolina has they already hired Bill Belichick for the head football coach. I don't know how much he's getting paid. Then they hired this head coach who was a former NBA head coach. Now, what I was getting to is like, is there really a difference in hiring Mike Malone as a college head coach? Because technically college is becoming like a pro level, which is going to lead to our next conversation with the Trump administration signing an executive order to either help or kind of like slow down the NIL craziness going on. And so right here, they're talking about the money already that we're finna see. So, and let me see, y'all. I think the game, I think UConn versus Michigan, because I said UConn's gonna win the whole thing. I got a proof for that. Let me see. I think they playing right now. No, they lost. I was off by a little bit. Good game. Didn't know that was gonna come down to the wire like that. To the wire. Oh, through the wire. All right. So UNC, University of North Carolina, makes Michael Malone the second highest paid college basketball coach with $50 million, man. 6-year contract. 6-year contract. Now, don't get me wrong. For my people out there who are going to watch this. University of North Carolina got the bread, probably. They probably got the bread. Especially in their sports. Probably. I'm gonna be a little lenient on them. They probably got the money. But $50 million to pay a head coach, bro. Why can't get that money, bro? Why? Like, that's a ice cold moment. Like, that's a lot of money, man, for a college coach. And they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay the players. That's a lot of money. So a college coach is getting $50 million. They have a different pots of money that goes to coaches and staff and instructors, but that's a lot of money. And so right here is written by, because we're on the Athletic. I thought this was ESPN, but we're on the Athletic. Brandon Marks wrote this. He said that to restore its men's basketball program to the top of the college hoops hierarchy, North Carolina is putting money where its mouth is. On Tuesday, UNC signed former Denver Nuggets coach Michael Malone to a 6-year, $50 million contract. He making more in parts on NBA coaches. So, making him the second highest paid coach in college basketball, behind only Kansas Bill Self. Kansas Bill Self? I don't know. Per the terms of his contract, the 54-year-old will earn $7.5 million this season. His first in-college stint serving as an assistant at Manhattan in 2001. But Malone's salary, which increases to $9 million by the final year of the deal, is far from the only outsized financial commitment it took to land the 2023 NBA champion. What they getting at? Okay, so he's eligible for bonuses, including NCAA tournament, blah, 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 blah. They said perhaps the most eye-catching are the additional finances UNC is committed to get Malone's tenure off to a strong start. Per his contract, Malone will receive at least $6.75 million annually in revenue sharing funds. So that's good. So the money they make from the basketball games, he's going to get at least $6.75 million annually in revenue sharing. So, these colleges make a lot of money off basketball. That's why I say it's coming from different pots. They make a lot of money from football and basketball, especially like UNC. So UNC felt like they took the right approach to bring in a top-notch coach because there was not going to be the same program due to NIL. Because, you know, once that legendary coach, I forgot that guy's name, the legendary coach who was at UNC first had it popping and rolling, and he left, and it kind of went downhill. It wasn't the same. It didn't go downhill, but it's not the same because they had a previous coach before at UNC, but I guess things wasn't going right, so they brought in Mike Malone now. And so as we keep going, I feel like they're finna talk about something we finna talk about. So multiple industry sources tell the Athletic that the expected band of competitive spending for next season is likely to be at least 10 to 12 million, meaning Malone's revenue sharing pot goes quite a long way. Okay. They talking about he'll have a lucrative. The salary pool is one of the largest in the country, investing more than Davis had at his disposal last season. So Davis, I think, was the previous coach on March 24 and 5 seasons, leading the his alma mater. So they did a buyout. Malone's buyout also aligns with some of the top college coaches in this nation. I hope this don't backfire because he coached pretty good, I guess, but I don't know. It's kind of a risk because college is not the same as NBA. So this could be a big risk on the school. But more of what we're trying to get at, because they're looking at it from a sports. And right here they say, in many ways, Malone's exorbitant, if I said it right, deal mirrors the financial carrot UNC dangled to land 6-time Super Bowl winner Bill Belichick as its football coach in December 2024. And so not many people know who Mike Malone is. Like they know Bill Belichick. But that's going to bring in a lot of money, I guess, with name alone. NBA coach comes to coach at the college. UNC is dropping a bag. They're dropping a bag on their sports. I don't know if this is going to hurt the school from a higher ed perspective. I'm not sure because they look like they're okay. It seems that nobody is worrying about it. Normally, that's I guess a bad indicator sometimes when people are not worrying, they're just disregarding. So we're going to see how this works out. I think they'll be okay. I think UNC will be okay. I'm going to be positive with it. I think they're going to be okay. But we will see. So where we go with this? Let me see if I can find that article right quick. A higher ed article. But nothing is going on. Nobody said anything like Chronicle. I don't think Chronicle said anything in a briefing. When this happened today? This happened today. No, a day ago. So I think I read the Chronicle. Let me see, y'all. No, nobody said anything. But it builds a case of like we saying that this is a true definition of an oligarchy in higher ed though. Higher ed, we will pay the coaches, we will pay athletic directors, we will pay, like the sports, like me and Sam said, sports is king. This is not going nowhere. And so unfortunately, let me go this side. Maybe that's why I'm leaning. Unfortunately, this won't really, I don't know if it's going to hurt the students personally, but it's going to be another reason why your athletic fees, student fees go up. Unfortunately, that's the case because the school got to expect higher enrollment the next few years, but the money comes majority from the games, I will hope. You never know things are really that bad until they slice the program. I'm not saying they will slice a University of North Carolina basketball program, but they'll do to the point where they will have to get money from other places within the school if it really came down to being that bad. But the future is changing. A lot of people are not choosing to go to UNC to play basketball no more. It's, with NIL going on, which it leads to the next topic we're about to jump into with Trump signing the executive order. That's going to be a lot longer than this. But I did want to highlight that because you see that he works in higher ed now. He works in higher ed. And so since he works in higher ed, he makes $50 million a year. There's a lot of money in higher ed, guys. unbelievable billions of dollars. So like when schools fail and shut down, normally it's not gonna be your top tier schools unless your top tier schools are just doing things that just were not a go. Like it had to be something like really like they kept under the rug and they pull the rug and then tell you. So this was just very like hey, 50 million, man. 50 million. He's a coach in a college, not NBA. So let's go to my guy, Trump. Let me see. I'm getting a little dehydrated, y'all. I got my water with lemon, but So I'm gonna show y'all another document, but all right. I was trying to find a video when Trump signed let me get a video. I can find a video on that. Trump signed this executive order for college sports. I could definitely find that. Not y'all seeing what I'm looking at. Y'all see I got y'all seeing my lo-fi and stuff, man. I can be showing y'all all that, man. Y'all gonna be like, oh, I see it. And I'm like, man, come on, man. Give me some space. But no secret. I just like to have it already set up when y'all see it. I try to get the exact when they sign it. I be trying to get the exact like video of it. Let's go to Fox. Let's see what Fox talking about. I'm gonna do Fox. Something on my eye. Oh. I'm gonna do Fox, and then I'm gonna do a liberal page, so we can get both sides. I think this is a good one. Forbes, I believe Forbes is liberal, so we're gonna get Forbes. That's a month ago, though. I got Fox, and I guess just Fox. I was really, top tier news outlet that's highlighting. It's like small outlets, which is interesting. So let's just run with Fox. They are pretty big. Let's just do Fox. Well, all right. Let's see what this is talking about. Y'all can't even hear it because I muted it. Here I go.
To help reform college sports. The president signing an executive order yesterday that overhauls name, image, and likeness, NIL earnings, enforcing a 5-year eligibility window, limiting transfers, and calling on Congress to pass that SCORE Act. Here to react, Outkick founder Clay Travis. Clay, it's great to have you this morning. I have so many questions I want to ask you about this executive order, but just your first thoughts, first reaction to this.
President Trump got it right, and the major conference commissioners have all almost immediately endorsed his major changes or the things that he thinks need to happen in college athletics to return some sanity to the sport. The three that stood out to me the most, and I think are the most key: 5 years to play 5, 1 free transfer without sitting out, and no players can return after going to the pros. There are many others, and I know the president is watching likely right now or will see this. What I would encourage him to do is use his executive authority like he did when it came to investigations of colleges and universities and say, hey, if you violate these rules, I'll withhold federal dollars from your athletic programs. Now, we still need Congress to act. In particular, we need them to give college NCAA authorities an antitrust exemption so they can put rules in place. But I really think if the president put up a truth and he said, this is the rule of law and I will withhold federal dollars from any athletic department in the country that violates the precepts of these rules as we await Congress's ratification of them, I think it would have a really transformative effect almost overnight. We saw it happen in other aspects of his executive orders, men not in women's sports, for instance. I think if he did that, it would immediately start to fix even more many of these issues.
Well, and Clay, we know in that wall we were showing, the president has threatened withholding federal funds. And we also know that President Trump is a leader who, when he says something, he means it. It's interesting. You highlighted the fact that the president of the NCAA, along with all of the major conferences, SEC, ACC, Big Ten,
that's right,
all supporting this. And there's that executive order there. You had Nick Saban as well, by the way, supporting it. But on that wall, you pointed the highlights out, which I think you nailed. But in that one about restricting athletes to one transfer per 5-year period, here's my question about that. And it really is it a flaw of the portal itself? Because as an Ole Miss grad, when Lane Kiffin stood us high and dry on the cusp of making a national championship run, all of a sudden it became obvious that was that unfair to the students that transferred to Ole Miss because of Lane Kiffin? Should there be maybe some reform to the portal or a exception to this rule?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said if your head coach bails, that you should have flexibility to be able to leave as well. And again, that gets into a complicated aspect, because I think what we don't want, Griff, and you're an Ole Miss guy. I graduated from Vanderbilt Law School back in the day, so we both got SEC degrees. And I know my wife's got a Big Ten degree. There's a lot of people out there who are big fans. I think what we don't want is for you to have a guy who plays at Ole Miss that you're a big fan of, and then the next year he's at Mississippi State, and then he goes to Auburn, and then he goes to another school. And you got kids playing for 4 schools in 5 years, right? And that really kind of defeats the entire purpose. Because let's be honest, how in the world can you remotely get an education if you're going to 4 or 5 schools in 5 years? Remember, ostensibly, one of the things you're getting here is an education. And so I think we have to dial that back. You could still transfer, but you might have to sit out a year. And a lot of kids out there don't want to do that. And certainly that implicates the 5 years to be eligible as well.
Great insight, as always. We've got to leave it there, Clay. But I did wear what many are calling a Michigan tie. Do they win today?
I do think Michigan wins today. I think it's Arizona. It's going to go down to Michigan. And I think Illinois is going to find a way to get past UConn. So
all right. That was Fox. I know some people probably don't like Fox. They were the only one that had, like, I guess, pretty good. But look, I don't know who that guy was. I can tell the other guy works at Fox. I don't even know who the other guy was. But look, let me tell you. They got some information for us. So all right. So apparently players can't return after going pro. That's what the guy said. That's gonna be, I don't know why that's a problem. I don't know. That's always been a thing though, at least in college sports. Like players will go test the waters in the pros. There's like it'll help them get like what they need to work on from the scouting report, and then go back to college and execute on those things so it can look good to get drafted. But man, okay. Then they said sports programs can't get federal dollars. So I didn't even know sports programs got federal dollars. Interesting. And so unless I don't know how accurate that is, because you can get federal dollars, but I'm not aware of it like specifically going to sports, if that makes sense. Like schools get federal dollars and they can distribute the federal dollars amongst like where they want the federal dollars to be allocated. So that's why I said I don't know who that guy was. I think they should have had somebody like Linda, Nicholas Kent, somebody who's a federal person talking. I don't know if he is a federal person once again, but let me see if they had his name up here before I even go into detail. Like Clay Travis. He's the man. Let's look him up. He's Clay Travis. That's an easy name to remember. Clay Travis. Yeah, I don't know who Clay Travis is. Somebody. He is I guess he's a sports debater, I guess. I don't know. Don't hold me accountable, I don't know. And so, remember I said Nick Saban was on to this. Go check the old live screens. We started this like back in 2 years ago. I think it took 2 years or a year. I know it happened as soon as Trump made office. As soon as Trump got in the office, Nick Saban was like one of the first people to bring this to Trump. That's why Nick Saban started coaching at the University of Alabama. Why are we even talking about sports? How does this affect you as a student going to school? Well, athletes go to school, and athletes need to understand, like the guy did mention something that was important. I know a lot of people like, man, they're just trying to stop their money. They don't want to see them getting paid. Probably so. Honestly, that's how it goes. You don't want your expenses getting paid more than your assets, I guess. A coach is an asset that can bring more talent. So you pay the coach a lot of money, and you can bring in for cheap or free the talent that's actually helped winning. But what I think this is going to cause players to do, like student athletes, because a lot of people are already like, it's not a good look for college sports. It's not a good look for colleges overall, because colleges already have a reputation of like, I get a college degree and it's not worth it. And so we have a lot of public distrust right now in college, even though like people like me and the other people behind the scenes believe that college is very rewarding career. You're going to make, especially coming from low income, graduating college, you're going to make a lot of money compared to somebody who didn't go to college, usually. Not on the rare spectrum, but usually. And so I feel like this is going to tell players that, hey, maybe we should go back overseas and go pro. Like, it's going back into that time. This might, like, I'm going to go through this list right here, the Trump College Sports Executive Order. But this is going to get back into those times when, like, I remember at the time, I think he was like 2 years younger than me, LaMelo Ball. And he went overseas, and players started going like, or they started going overtime elite. They started going overseas and getting paid more money. So if colleges don't want to pay these players are going to go overseas, and they're in America. That's what it's going to come down to. So let's talk about these highlights up here. So they saying that I'm going to go to the actual whitehouse.gov, but right now I'm going to look at these highlights they put on here. So they said the Trump College Sports Executive Order restricts the amount of money student athletes can be paid. That is not fair to a student athlete that's worth what they believe they're worth. That's not fair. So if they say that a student athlete can only make, I guess, $1 million max, then they can only make, but if they test their value and they say, well, if I go overseas, I can make like $3 million a year, or $3 million that year, because they might be a one and done, hopefully. Or they might say I can go play for overtime elite, or I can go play something else that's going to make me this money while I'm in college. Like and subscribe, y'all. Like and subscribe. And so right here it says sets 5-year eligibility window for NCAA athletes. Sets 5-year eligibility window for NCAA athletes. I don't know how they can play that. I don't know which way that's going to go, so I'm not going to speak heavily on that. They say restricts athletes to one transfer per 5-year period. So you can only transfer one time in your college career. Now, it was a lot of students transferring year by year. They like, man, look, man, I don't care about that education. So that's kind of good from a higher education perspective, man. That's good, because I don't know how it goes for student athletes. Usually they don't talk about it on the scenes, like on camera. You don't really hear people saying like, yeah, this student is really like, I remember one student, he was at LSU, man. He was playing basketball, because I follow basketball pretty good. Not like I used to, but and one player, he wasn't doing no schoolwork back in the day. He's in the NBA, but he wasn't doing no schoolwork at LSU. And his classes were like some bogus classes. He wasn't even doing the schoolwork. And so he knew it was gonna be a one and done, but it's crazy. And what I'm getting at is, when you transfer guys with all this accreditation stuff going on too in higher ed, the students, we do want the student athletes to get a degree. That is the goal, to get a degree. because you never know what might happen in sports, and it's like real life stuff going on. I know a couple of Division I athletes, D2, D3, JUCO, but sports is not guaranteed. You know, it's kind of like what they say, like you know, I talk about stock market sometimes. This company not financial advisor, but like it's kind of like with stock market. Some people think they're going to be a $1 million, $2 million trader all the time, and everybody can't be that type of trader. And that's not being confident. That's just like, it's just like sports. You got somebody who just one of one when it comes to sports. Like he's just that guy, as we say. Same thing with other things. And you have to understand that you want to have some hedge. That's literally what hedging is. In case sports don't work out, I got my bachelor's. If I stay another year, I got my master's, you know, and I hedged it because, oh, I did go to the NBA, or I did go to the NFL, or I did make it in baseball, MLB, but I made sure I had my education, because a lot of these people, they don't have to have a degree, but it makes you more qualified than when you step into. Some people gonna be like, that don't make sense. That don't matter. As long as you got the experience, they don't care if you got a degree. But it does make you more qualified that you actually went to school for journalism. And then you say, I'm gonna be a ESPN, or I'm gonna be an analyst when I get done playing sports. But they said pushes schools to prioritize women's in Olympic sports, regardless of revenue. Huh. Interesting. I'll skip that one. I don't know. That could be going a lot of ways. Calls on Congress to pass legislation like the SCORE Act. Don't know what that is either. And then it says threatens federal funding if schools don't comply. Now that's a big one I had wrote down too. So we already talked about that a little bit, but yeah, they said they're going to take the federal funding if they don't comply, if schools don't comply. So now this has not been official yet. I believe they said it has to go through Congress, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think it has to go through Congress before it can be even, like before it becomes official. He signed the executive order, but it hasn't become law yet. So, but it might become law because a lot of people have been complaining, but they might look at it like, bro, the coaches get paid buku money. I don't see why we going, you know, like sometimes players might go to a school because of other players, but then they might lower their money cap. But then it's like, you know, I don't know. They might want to keep the regulation. It's prestige. We'll see. I don't know. Congress got some decisions to make, like if they want to fix it, toss some things out, keep some things in, because at the end of the day, student athletes bring in a large portion of regular students like me. Like maybe I want to go to the school just to watch the basketball team when I don't got to do schoolwork. And then if you trying to play by these rules and like you trying to like keep them from making good money, like these student athletes keep them from making good money, they will go to another country. They will go to another organization and then just go pro like they planned on. So it's something to consider. And that was that. So this is the actual document. Urgent national action to save college sports. This was April 3rd. I don't know how this got past me, but it got past me. And so by the authority vested in me as president, why did I read that? That's the top line. That's like the most common thing they always say in everything. So this is on the whitehouse.gov. This is from the White House itself. I usually go to credible sources. I try to. And so it says right here, Section 1, Purpose and Policy. America's system of college sports has a long provided scholarships and life-changing educational, athletic, leadership opportunities to millions of America's future leaders and formed an important part of our national fabric, right? So they said college football is the primary revenue generator for university athletic departments, including revenue to support women's and Olympic sports. Didn't know that. And I don't know how true this is. And is used by many universities to attract students. We just said donations and goodwill as millions of Americans gather with families and friends to watch each Saturday. So as they keep going, you know, they're talking about, if you want to pause the video and watch or read this, they're pretty much getting into like right here, the same dynamic as this for basketball to a lesser degree. And then they saying football and basketball, and then they like basketball is a lesser degree. Imagine how they feel about other sports. But they're saying like the biggest revenue generators in sports pay for other sports programs, which is why we see a lot of schools struggle sometimes if their basketball program is not that good. That's something to think about. So, as we keep going, I want to see the policies. Yes, New York Times. Oh, what happened? Oh, somebody, Kay Fuller just won Georgia runoff to succeed Marjorie Taylor Greene. The Trump-backed Fuller was heavily favored. That's what they're saying. So, I thought it was a session 1, but I guess session 1 was the beginning. So, session 2, effective date. Sessions 3 through 6 of this order shall be effective on August 1st, 2026. So, let's go check and see if this is in the motion right now. Let me go see something right quick. See, that's on top of y'all. I told y'all. Let me see. They usually call it simple things. Like and subscribe. You stop by. Show love. Error. What is going on, man? Y'all see what I be dealing with, man? I be trying to find stuff. College sports. I thought it would have popped up, but it's struggling. I don't know what Congress .gov got going on. Okay, y'all see this for yourselves. Let me see if I can find it. What is that one? Is that it? Dang, impeaching Donald John Trump. The fact they trying to impeach him, but it never happens is a joke. I'm just saying, that's a joke. But I'm trying to find, not you guys, trying to find, this is congress.gov, guys. If you ever need a website to go look up bills and stuff, this is how I'll be finding some bills. I think is this the same guy? No, that's about citizenship. Let me see. College. Let me try college. Trying to find a college bill about the NILs getting cracked down on, guys, but let me see if I can find it on here too. They should have put the bill name in here. Let me see. That was in July. That was a while ago, man. Let me see. Gotta hit some Google searches real quick. Well, these are signed into law already. Let me see. No. College sports. So I'm not finding it. Let me see. I felt like it should have been right. In the hell? Looking for that name. Not that. So I was trying to find the bill though on the Congress.gov, y'all, but we're not finding it. Guess we just have to take that on the chin. But okay. So right here they're saying that I'm gonna hit the ones I think that's important real quick before we go to the next segment. So right here on section 3, definitions for the purposes of this order, improper financial activities. So they're saying that the following actions taken by a federal funded higher education institution, including its officer, agents, affiliates, and representatives. Pretty much saying that it was doing fraudulent things with the NIL, using federal funds for NIL or revenue sharing payments, or for any type of payment or benefit to a coach, assistant coach, general manager, recruiter, or other person engaged in coaching or management in the athletic team. So they was supposedly using federal funds, which I don't know. Like I said, federal funds could go anywhere in the school. It's federal funds. Sometimes the schools can do what they want. Sometimes the federal funds come with stipulations. It depends on what type of federal funds it is. Usually just federal. But they were using money to get athletes. I mean, that's nothing new. And then student athlete. Then they said revenue sharing between a higher education institution and a student athlete that is consistent with interstate intercollegiate athletic governing body rules. They got fair market. Yeah. Then they saying right here that Higher Education Act of 1965 have generated not less than 20 million in total revenue. Wow. So this might get passed. This has not been passed yet by the big dogs yet in Congress. This has not been passed yet. I was trying to find the bill. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on here for some reason. So since I couldn't find it, to see where it's at, to see if it's like at the floor, on the floor, Senate, I don't know. But hopefully we'll keep a lookout. When I get off, I'll try to keep doing a little research to find it. And then they're talking about age-based eligibility limits to promote fairness, consistency, and safety. That's what remember, if you go watch, it didn't get a lot of views. If you go watch John Calipari, Arkansas coach, he got mad about students are like 30 or 35 years old, exaggerating, but players are pretty much grown, playing college basketball just to make money. He talked about that. The transfer, we already talked about the transfer related rules, but this is the actual document on the whitehouse.gov if you want to go and look at this for yourself. All right. So that's enough with college sports, but college sports is in shambles right now. It's a little everywhere, as we would say. It's not really in the best of state, as we would say. But if you are a student athlete, I always tell student athletes, if you didn't get a scholarship, you can do this with speaking on behalf as well. That's why I always talk to the student athletes and give them some segments or give them a live screen, because as I'm doing this, let me see. Hold on, I'm fixing the tabs real quick. Because as a student athlete, guys, I understand that a lot of you all won't get scholarships. And I was a former athlete. But student athletes, you won't get any, if you don't get a scholarship, there's still a way for you to work the speaking on behalf method. Start a 2-year bridge to a 4-year. And as a student athlete, you can definitely start at a 2-year, potentially get free education, like get free housing, free meals. Athletes get the best of the best. They get all these awesome perks in college, right? And then they get 2 years potentially free, because sometimes it's easier to get a scholarship when you go into a 2-year and playing basketball. And then you can work your way to a D3, D2, or D1, however you want to do it. Because a lot of these rules, depending how it's working with the NCAA, might not really apply to D2 and D3. It might just only apply to D1. And so you could go from a 2-year to a D3 school, spend 1 year at the D3. If you kill it, then go D1, or you can go D2. But if your goal is to go pro, you want to work your way to Division 1. So I just think that's a good thing to talk about, because we can save you a lot of money as a student athlete if you don't get a scholarship, if you were overlooked. This is also a good platform for you to save money and go to school, and just really separate yourself from other student athletes. Even though I understand that you got practice at 6 a.m. in the morning, probably another practice in the afternoon, and probably a night practice sometimes. But if you don't, then that allows you the opportunity to work possibly, and go to school part-time. And so, because sometimes it's all about credits. It's not about you getting that associate's degree, depending on your situation. But remember, I always want my students to get associate's degrees, because they can take their associate's degrees and go into the workforce. Then it's optional about like work-life balance, how they want to go to school at a university, and then get their bachelor's. Then while they're already making money from freaking freshman to transferring and at the university, they can take the money they've been working and saving and go get their master's. So they don't have to require so much on student loans and grad loans and stuff, because they put a cap on grad loans. And the essential reason for putting a cap on grad loans was because they want you to use your own money to go to school, or learn how to make money in other ways to go to school. That's why I tell students, like, if you don't have the money to go to college and you got to pay out of college, you got to pay out of pocket, maybe you shouldn't go to college, because college is like, you need money. This is like, college is a privilege for people to go to. It's a privilege to go to college, because you get a wealth of information that's going to change your life forever, and you're not going to see things the same. It goes deeper, but that's my short version of it. And that's why we pay so much for college. That's why the value of a university is going up. That's why the value of a 2 year is going up, because college gets you a job. That's the real truth. College gets you a job. College is going to help you save money. College is going to change your life forever. And so, yeah. So let's go into the next one. Yeah, I got some segments for y'all, bro. I'm cooking today with y'all. So, what's the article? Rutgers. Can y'all see that? No, y'all can't see that. Let me see. They talking about programs getting cut. Let me see real quick. This is it. I feel like this is, man, a lot of times I've been looking for these articles. I haven't been finding them lately. I probably spelled it wrong. No, I didn't spell it wrong. Just let me. I think this is, because we're not doing the college review today. That's going to be please don't tell me y'all separated the links when y'all did this. You put it in another briefing, yo, from back in 2023. Yeah. All right. So I can't show y'all. I can technically show y'all, but I can't show y'all. So let's do this, because the briefing is only supposed to be for people who pay for it, and I can't be knocking the value down. So I'm trying to think of another way real quick around to show y'all something. I like to show y'all something while I'm talking. I don't want y'all just looking at me while I'm talking. Seems a bit boring for you all, right? I'm going to do this. Hey, why would y'all give me this? All right. I'm I'm going to let y'all look at my, I think I'm going to just advertise my LinkedIn for y'all while I do this. I think I'm going to just advertise on LinkedIn. Yeah. I'm going to advertise my LinkedIn while. Actually. Yeah, I'm going to advertise my LinkedIn. I'm going to run with that one while I read to you all about what's going on. All right. So Indiana adds its hundreds of programs. So then now I can go and do this now, what I want to do. So I'm going to have to go document by document kind of to show you all everything. So right here. And then show you this. So right here, this is an Indiana document. Definitely think this is free for everybody. So it says about 370 programs. It's a list of programs, a lot of programs, man, about schools. It's about universities cutting programs. So about 370 degree programs. They just said Indiana, so I'm thinking they're talking about the state. About 370 degree programs will be merged or consolidated under a new state law. Indiana Commission for Higher Education announced, and 210 are suspended or eliminated. So they're cutting about 210 degree programs. Universities voluntarily began making changes to 372 programs that miss graduate productivity thresholds. So what am I talking about? So if you are new or you just came in, schools have been having to fix their graduation return on investment pretty much. What Speaking on Behalf talks about like literally all the time about how to get a return on investment for your education. We still perfected it, but that's what they're trying to do. And it's part of the Trump administration. Nicholas Kent, Linda McMahon, Trump, anybody in the Trump administration, they're all, of course, like, people specialize on their own things, but sometimes they collaborate. But Nicholas Kent, if you don't know, is the undersecretary. I didn't know what an undersecretary is, but the way I look at an undersecretary, I look at the undersecretary as a COO, like a chief operating officer. He does all the real work. Linda is the face that gets backlash because she is like, I don't really know what's going on, but I got to sit here and speak as if I know what's going on, So she's that type of person. And so they had to cut a lot of programs that was not producing. What programs are Indiana cutting? I don't know. It says Indiana continues streamlining degree programs to better prepare students for the future. So what programs are they? I don't know. Let's see. Under the House Enroll Act 1000 to 2025 or 2025, whichever way they're pronouncing it. They're saying 10 graduates for an associate's degree. The following graduate thresholds were established based on the rolling 3-year average. So 10 graduates for associate's degree, 15 graduates for bachelor's, 7 graduates for master's, 3 graduates for educational specialist degree or doctorate. Based on the thresholds, below is a breakdown of the actions taken by commission at April meeting. So it's a lot. I'm trying to find some heavyweights in here. All right, so I know a few of these schools. It says, in addition to the actions taken Wednesday, this process included voluntary action by institutions in months prior to the law taking effect on July 1st, 2025, where institutions independently streamlined or committed to streamline 372 under threshold programs. Voluntary decisions prior to the enactment of the law did not require commission approval. When voluntary institutional decisions already executed in June 2025 are included with today's commission approval, the approximately 1280 total impacted on the threshold, above threshold, and forthcoming consolidated degree programs by institution include. So Indiana. So we included, they said Ball State 127, Indiana State University 83, Indiana University, all campuses including regional 605. So they're saying like some of these got consolidated degree programs by institution, under threshold, above threshold. Ivy Tech Community College, 47. We actually did a review on them. Purdue University, 274. University of Southern Indiana, 64. And I don't know how to pronounce this. Vincennes University. So that's a little bit about Indiana. They did some cutting down. We didn't want to go major detail about that. Let's go to the next one. So I'm going to open up another one. Copy link. Change this out. So now we're going to the University of Syracuse, or Syracuse University. I don't know why I say university. It sounds pretty good saying University of Syracuse, but we can't even do it because the New York Times has a subscription. I'm not subscribed. I don't have a New York Times subscription. But it says that, let me take that down real quick while I do that. Oh, I already did. So Syracuse University, NITS is 1/5. So closing or pausing 93 of 460 academic programs makes the private institution more focused, distinctive, and aligned with demand. As Provost said, just 258 of Syracuse 20,000 students enroll in an affected program. No one majors in 55 of them. Wow. So that helps the school save money. And what does that do? Like we said before, with this threshold, new identity of this threshold, that forces schools to get rid of instructors, teacher assistant or instructor assistants, jobs like front desk people. Like they might have to close a whole schoolhouse because, like Syracuse University said, they had like 20,000 students enrolled in an affected program. And sometimes like the school didn't pay attention really because colleges and universities don't do their job like they're supposed to most of the time, universities or 2 years. And so you could have been enrolling in a program that was not going to get you a return on investment. And guess what? They wasn't going to change it until, just saying, they wasn't going to change it until the Trump administration came in and said, students are not getting a return on their investment. They're enrolling in programs that have no ROI. You know, like literally, when I went to graduate school, my grad program was a cohort, meaning like we started and finished together mostly, but we are like a new, like they brought the program back. Cohort means like one or two things, but like they had just brought the program back for my graduate school. And why am I saying that? Because now my school has to keep data, track records of like, hey, how are we doing once we graduate? Are we getting jobs? Are we getting better jobs than before? Are we progressing with this master's degree? If we're not progressing with our master's degree, why the heck did I go to school and get my master's? You know? And even though I'm in a career field, guys, where I got to shake hands and smile, network to elevate and advance in my career, that's still the degree just kind of gives me it checks off the box. So when I run into a job that I'm like, I qualify, but I might not have a master's, And so, but all to say, my graduate program was a new program that is kind of essentially going through this because if they don't produce results kind of fast with this time going on, the program can be shut down pretty quick. And so as we keep going, Ohio University, I think that's a red school, to shut down 16. If you're in Ohio, for my people out there in Ohio, Ohio University, a total of 36 programs failed a state test that requires at least 5 students to graduate in the average year. Wow. But only 16 will technically be closed after waivers and merges. So let's see what that's talking about real quick. This was a news article. So local news are very helpful for higher ed if you are interested. So Ohio Today, following a review by the state, Ohio University will sunset select academic programs graduating fewer than 5 students annually. Wow. So let me see. What is it called? Y'all can see what I've been looking up. I believe I know what Ohio University is. That Ohio University. Yeah, I do know this school right here. I played for this school on my little NCAA college football game back in the day. I remember this school. They were terrible to play for. But besides that, Ohio University is a public research university. Okay, research university, first university established in the former Northwest Territory. All right, but besides that, I just want to see what school this was. And so they're saying pretty much that, like, look, there was only graduating 5 students in a program, but the program was open. The program was open. Why was it open? Like, like so many things. Like, why was it open then? 17 degree programs to be sunset include not them trying to add associate degrees. How much is it to go to a higher university? Now they got me wondering. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Because they offering a lot of associate degrees. Y'all know how we do it. Tuition and fees, if I spelled that right. Same thing, guys. Same thing. I'm just trying to see something real quick. Did they put the new year? No, they haven't put the 2026 on. I don't want to talk. Oh man, no. Oh no, I'm not getting my associate's degree here. You trying to charge, unless you got a different price range for associate's degrees, that ain't it. You trying to charge me pretty much $15,000 per semester? No, you're gonna have a different price for that associates. And I don't see y'all separating nothing on here for that associate's degree. They usually have it in here. Like, what's the difference? Like, separating it, categorizing it. The reason I say that, because they were saying like 17 degree programs to sunset include, like, the adding these programs. And so, notably, the Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies and Bachelor of Arts in French were previously planned to be combined into similar degree programs as concentration. Given revised state guidelines for undergraduate concentrations, Ohio University College of Arts and Sciences will not pursue mergers. Both will still be offered as minors. That's pretty good. So feel free to come check this out by Ohio University, but please don't get your associate's degree here. FYI, go to an actual community college and save money. So, all right, that's Ohio. These programs are very important. I just got this up. Like, what's the name, huh? Let me see. They say UConn. Similar, UConn had, let me see, faculty critics say an effort that approves more than a dozen reductions to low-enroll academic programs since 2024 lacks transparency and communication. Administrators maintain they are following shared governance procedures and need to improve efficiency. Planning documents suggest 34 more programs are in jeopardy. And that's at UConn, guys. The actual UConn that was just in the championship. They got the amazing boys and girls basketball team. That's something to keep in mind. North Texas slashes dozens. The University of North Texas North Texas University, but North Texas is planning. The university is phasing out degrees in its linguist department and merging it with the world languages department. That's good. They merging this stuff instead of just getting rid of it. Other low-enroll programs are also being cut as leaders face $45 million deficient, fueled by declines in state funding and international graduate students. They literally been taken out by the Trump administration because the international students, like international graduate students not coming recently, that's literally been knocked out by, because Trump administration was putting pressure on them about that, like not letting international students in. That's interesting to see how fast that affected North Texas. Then you got a Texas Community College. Texas Community College strikes career and technical programs. Tarrant, that's interesting. We definitely got to see what this is about. So right here, can I see it? Not yet. Like and subscribe. What is this? Guys, you can't make this up, man. I'll miss out. You can't make this up. So Tarrant County College cuts 10 career technical programs. So this is about community colleges right now. Even community colleges are cutting some programs. This was March 31st. And I'm trying to see, where is this at? So that's a picture right there. Do I need to zoom out, y'all? It's too close in. Perfect. So They are obviously somewhere important. I don't know where they are. I don't even know what state this is right now. It's a college board meeting in Fort Worth. I don't know if this is Texas or not. Is it Texas? Where is? Let me go back. Let me backtrack. Yeah, Texas Community College. So yeah, Fort Worth. Because I hear Fort Worth all the time. So okay, they said I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Tarrant County college trustees cut 10 career and technical education programs for reasons including low enrollment or credits that did not transfer to four-year universities. Interesting. So if you are in Texas, and I think they are specifying, they just saying the county. Let's get into some details though. Please listen up. They said they're getting rid of sign language. The eliminations include all architectural programs and one certificate from each of the following academic areas. Sign language interpretation. Wow, that's really important. It's a really important class. Aviation. That's crazy because our aviation be booming at in Georgia. That's crazy. Geographic information systems. Yeah, never really heard too much about it. Horticulture. Yeah, I can see that. Marketing. Information technology. The board eliminated the programs with a unanimous vote during the March board meeting. Other reasons for cutting credentials included low completion rates and lack of industry demand. So wow, y'all see this, right? Like lack of industry demand. They saying on the horticulture. Marketing is crazy, but interesting. I wonder did the ads put them out? Aviation, sign language interpretation, information technology. At a January meeting, Chancellor Elva LeBlanc, I butchered that name. I'm so sorry. Said some obsolete programs would be cut as the college deals with new reality for its budget and looks to ensure resources are put to best use. So statewide tuition freeze and decreasing property tax revenue from an appraisal freeze are putting pressure on the college's budget. It's amazing, like that little tuition freeze, they always blame it on that. I don't know if that's really the truth. I don't know if that's really theory, but they always say like a statewide tuition freeze. And I can understand decreasing property tax, but a tuition freeze, it depends on how long they've been in that tuition freeze, it's crazy to make y'all struggle that quick. It's very interesting. But they were talking about the programs. They're saying students currently enrolled in the affected programs will have 5 years to finish and be offered advising. That's really good. So they got 5. If you are already in this program in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, or this county, Tarrant, if I said that right, Tarrant County in Texas, they saying that you have 5 years, and you probably got the news, hopefully, and read this or watched this. So definitely talk to your school because this can help you save a lot of money and be aware. And then I want to say that's it, really. You know, them saying with low enrollment. So, like, remember, guys, if you see low enrollment in your classroom, that's not good. That's not good. Should look like a party in the classroom. That's how many people should be in there. And then one with Oregon community colleges, they had to cut back as well. It's called Lane Community College, seats to save $4.2 million by 2027 by restructuring, eliminating jobs, and suspending 2 programs. And then right here, Clatsop Community Community College's president explained the suspension of 3 programs by saying it's not sustainable to keep offering required courses for only 3 or 4 students. Now y'all look at it and say something. And then it says, don't read too much into the prevalence of public institutions here. Yes, public colleges are more well public about cutting. But it says right here, but Yale and Princeton universities are also pulling back, student newspapers reported. Wow. Hey, shout out to the students that be writing on these campuses, man. They be getting it. Like they be like, hey, look, this was going on at my school. Don't think it's sweet over here. Like, hey, you need to read this. Like, these students be working, man. They be like academic freedom, man. So now everybody think public schools, 2-year colleges, or well, really everybody think it's the 4-year colleges. 2 years been slacking a little bit in some places, but 4 years are really going through universities. So this is some two newspapers article. These are some newspapers. Get right, internet. Making me want to fight. All right. So these are some newspaper articles. This is the Daily Princetonian, if I say it right. And this is the Yale News. All right. So instructors let go amid budget cuts. Drawing flake on Yale's priorities. If I said it right. Flake. At least 3 lecturers suggested that the non-renewals of their contracts are due to the budget tightening Yale has done to prepare for an endowment tax hike. As seen, remember we was talking about these endowment tax hikes back in the summer. And now that we know we are consistent with going live every week, we got to get somebody to come talk about these tax endowment hikes, man. We got to get somebody to come off about 10 to 20 minutes and give us information on this. And so it's like, a senior administrator acknowledged that recent budget pressure impacted contract decisions. So more than 120 students and alumni recently signed a letter addressed to Yale College Dean Lewis. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Dean Lewis to express deep concern at the film study lecturer. The film studies lecturer told her students that Yale would not renew her contract due to budget tightening measures. German lecturer Austin Hinckley spoke to his 72-person Marks. These are some very hard names. Why me right now? Lecture about his contract non-renewal, which he also said was impacted by budget cuts. Lecturer Matthew Morrison, who teaches a course in medicine and the humanities, wrote in an email to his former students that Yale has yet not renewed my contract for next year, conceivably due to its newly straitened financial situation. This is what I tell you guys about, like, this might prove your point. I'll be honest. This might prove your point about, see, college is not worth it. No job is safe. Now, right. No job is safe. That's why we invest, right? That's why we invest in the market. No job is safe. I'm going to have to use my right hand today. No job is safe. And so a lot of these professors are at Ivy Leagues, like Ivies. But that shows you that there is a financial pressure going on, right? And that's what makes me a little weary about the sports in a way, because you're like, some places can add more like head coaches, athletic directors, multi-million-dollar presidents, but you can't keep your faculty on board. But I don't know if these programs was Yale, and we ain't looked at Princeton, but this is Yale. I'm pretty sure they have. Maybe they want to get somebody more affordable. We're not saying that they won't bring somebody back, but maybe they want to get somebody more affordable to teach their instruct the program. And so they say, according to Wilkinson, the number of instructional faculty full-time equivalents will still be greater in the 2026-2027 school year than it was in the 2024-2025 school year. But they're just going through these, I think they interviewed these people. But this is interesting right here. So before I read, Wu pointed out, so Wu 26, who is the upper level seminar and organized the letter, said in a phone interview that told her students that her contract was not renewed because of the budget pressure the university is facing in light of the endowment tax hike. And then Wu right here also said, Wu pointed to an alternative group of employees that Yale could downsize. The bureaucracy at Yale is just insane, Wu said. They take up so much money and they are so bloated that it's inefficient. So why are we cutting the professors that students love and not turning towards the bureaucracy? Because I told you higher education is an oligarchy. And like, let's cut some of the bureaucrats in the system. Woo knows some. Woo sound like they know some. Woo sound like they know some. So university spokesperson Karen Pert did not respond to the news request for comment about students' criticism of the number of administrative employees at Yale. In a January email to the news, Pert wrote that staff positions, including those that support the university's academic operations and clinical enterprise, are crucial to faculty work and to Yale's ability to carry out its mission. Yeah. And then a lot of details about Yale that, you know, a lot of stuff going on. But when we go into the Daily Princetonian, I hope I say that right. All Keller Center staff laid off in first mass termination of academic unit staff in years. So this is Princeton University. You thought you were safe at the Ivy, and you're not safe. And I hate to be that person because I'm not going to say that, but I am going to mention that this was coming. You know, a lot of professors could have left, you know, and hopefully they're getting a package, a separation package. But this is something that I feel like not being mentioned heavily in like workforce and stuff. Like the economy is bad right now because we got, well, prices are going up in general because of tariffs. We had the tariffs. I don't know if that got revoked officially or a refund supposed to be coming. I don't know. The tariffs, supposedly, everything went up. Then we're in a war, right? Then like cost of stuff is rising and cost of stuff is going down, like for my investors and stuff like that. People invest. Market is bloody, opportunity to buy. It's just a lot going on. Like people are being laid off their jobs with AI. It's like a lot of people losing jobs. It feels like something is about to happen in a way because it's even rolling over into higher education in a way, right? It makes you think. Very theoretical, but it makes you think in a way. And so right here, they're saying the entire Keller Center staff will be laid off due to the restructuring of the center amid ongoing university-wide budget constraints. Now, okay, the Princetonian. I'm going to call it the Princetonian. The wholesale layoff. Okay, guys, you're distracting me with this. So the wholesale layoff of the staff of an academic unit is unprecedented at Princeton in recent years. Faculty in the Keller Center are not immediately affected by the layoffs, according to the email. That is so cold-blooded, man. They just be sending emails like, yeah, you're going to be laid off, so you should definitely, like, they are cold-blooded in higher ed. They sent according to the email, they sent the email, you are being laid off. Imagine getting an email about you being laid off. That hurt my soul, man. That hurt my soul. Let me get something to drink real quick. 5-minute break. Wait, let me come back, y'all. Man, they cold-blooded, man. They gonna send an email, free advertisement. This is sparkling water I accidentally bought. They gonna send you an email saying you gonna get, man, these people cold-blooded. These people cold-blooded, man. Hey, man, I guess. So University President Christopher President Christopher, University President Christopher, 83, class of 83, I believe, when you see that as like class, announced in February that the university will implement multi-year budget cuts due to lower projected endowment rate. Hey, remember what we learned about endowments? This is Princeton. They said projected lower. All right. The reason I'm going through it right now, let me tell y'all why I'm going through it right now. I don't know if y'all remember the live screen when I was talking about, I think it was Yale. And I think it was Yale. I don't want to say Yale, but I think it was Yale. This is Princeton we're talking about. The market is down this year, right? A lot of the endowment money is usually reinvested. Like they invest that money into the stock market. Excuse me. This is why I'm telling y'all, this is why I'm a strong believer the stock market is important, and it's tied to higher education in ways that I haven't had full proof on it with my eyes, but just from connecting the dots. So they said in February, announced in February, it's April today, and that the university will implement multi-year budget cuts due to the lower projected endowment returns. The university has since cut employee benefits and scaled back salary increases across the board amid other fiscal tightening measures. And usually the endowment money, once again, is invested into like something safe, whatever. But the market has been down all year. Since 2025, it has pulled back. I won't say down, but it pulled back. I'll leave that to my financial people out there. But they can tell you too, the market has been down. It hasn't really been, And so when they have return on investment, theoretical return on investment with the endowment money, because the endowment money probably like $2 billion. Nah, man, it's probably more than that. Let me see some real quick. Let me see some. Princeton's endowment fund. Let me see some real quick. I was way off. I was about 30 billion off, y'all. So, all right. Here we go. So this is what I was talking about. This is on their website. So this is their model. I just clicked on the first thing that was Princeton related. This is Princeton, as you see at the top. So it says that the Princeton University Investment Company, Princo, they have an investment company. Bro, what are we doing out here, man? What are we doing out here? Hold on real quick. I gotta drop my window real quick. I can't look. I gotta be on my Drake. Hey, I forgot how the video went. I want to say that so much. Princo, what is it called? Princo. Come on, man. I don't know if they got a website. I want to see if they got a website. Let me see. All right, so we're going to take a look at this real quick. I'm about to have some fun with this. So Princeton University Investment Company, Princo, manages Princeton's endowment, which stood at $36.4 billion. Hey, don't tell me ain't no money in higher education, bro. See, look, it's a lot of money out here. Man. And so as of June 30, 2025, Princeton's endowment ranks among the five largest university and college endowments in the United States. Measured per student, it is the largest. the average annual return on the endowment for the past 20 years is 9.5%. So guys, what that means is, all right, look, usually in the past 20 years, that's why they played it safe. They said past 20. They didn't want to say past year, past 5, past 10. They said past 20. It's gonna do, it's gonna do, if anything, it's gonna do more than 9.5%, right? So we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna drop it. We're gonna say 9%. What is 9% on, if they are like, what's 9% on 36 billion? I'm not gonna put all them zeros in there because I don't think my calculator can afford all them zeros. So look, 36, I'm gonna just say 36 billion time or plus 9%. That's an additional, I got an additional temporarily. That's an additional $3 billion. That's additional $3 billion. Pretty much. Almost got an additional 4 billion. If I did the math right. It went from 36 to 39.24 billion. That it's the same thing. You just got to put some zeros on it. The power of investing. And I guess it's not doing well. It's not, the projected returns wasn't like, and maybe they was looking for like 10 to 12%, and they coming in a little like low because the market is down. And this is why it's important to understand this stuff so you can know how to pivot. With students, it kind of bothers you because then the school might have to raise, like it's an Ivy in this case, but a regular school, sometimes they probably use the endowment to give you like a pass for a year or 2 years. Like that's why I believe Emory and Yale actually did some recently saying students could, I think Emory and Yale, don't quote me on that. I believe Emory and Yale said something like, if your parents made $200,000 or less, or 250, depending on, one of them had like, it was definitely 6 figures or less, like you can go to school for free potentially. Excuse me, y'all still working on that long a little bit. And so now, but I was more shocked at this, that Princeton has their own investment company, which allows me to think like if you do finance there, maybe you could be like interning a little bit, learning there. I don't know. Let's see if we could join a team. They got their own investment company at a college. That's crazy. Yeah, like look, you could be a investment summer analyst. Applications for 2027 investment summer analyst internship are now closed. For more information about the investment summer analyst position, click here. Maybe I want to join and be a summer investment analyst at Princeton's investment company. That's so cool. I did not know, like, wow. And they even got their investment strategy on here. Let's see. Because they said the numbers that come in projected. Let me stop playing with y'all. I'm going to look at this myself. Let me stop playing with y'all, man. Let me stop. Y'all going to be looking at me like, man, he getting off topic. But pretty much, yeah, he said it was a very difficult decision. They sent the email. So on March 5th, email announcing the layoffs to Keller Center affiliated faculty. Dean Andrew described the change as very difficult decision that will ensure the center's long-term financial stability and strategic growth. The layoffs will be effective 2 months after the announcement. So that was March. So a lot of these people are probably leaving now in April. Director of Keller Center, Sigrid, and Associate Director Janet will retain their leadership positions at the center. See, they good. But you don't want to know how much they make. You don't want to know how much that director make. And the associate director, don't ask how much they make. They stay though. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't answer that question for y'all. I just gotta roll with the punches as well too. But and then excuse me. And then right here, the university has publicly posted 3 of these positions on its job listings: executive director, undergraduate administrator, communications, and event specialist. There is no open listing for the 4th position at the time of the publication, according to the Memorial The position is manager of finance. Is manager of finance and administration at the center. Okay. But y'all get the gist of it. You know, that's the gist of it. Like, that's what's going down out here in higher ed. Do you care if you're a student? You're like, what they got to do with me? But when you see them prices keep rising, because that endowment not doing the return on investment, and then the endowment didn't do what it needed to do, and they finna get a tax hike. I don't know much about finance, but that don't sound good. That don't sound it's working in their favor. And then that was a lot to go through, man. That took some time. That probably put us at what, 1:30? That probably put us at 1:30 in time. Let me see. Yeah, it puts us at 1 hour and 30 minutes. The Iran war updates, university strikes mount. At least 30 Iranian universities have been affected by United States and Israeli strikes since the end of February, according to Hassan, if I said that right, a minister of science, research, and technology. That's somebody, I don't know who that is. Forgive me if I said the name wrong. John particular outrage was an attack that hit the Sharif University of Technology. I believe that's Sharif University of Technology in Tehran, which has been compared to the country's MIT. A professor was removed after criticizing the war. An associate area, I believe I said it right, an associate professor in the University of Washington Jackson School of International Studies said he was removed as head of Middle East Center after criticizing the war on Iran. Former Emory professor barred from country. The State Department terminated the legal status of, I'm not even gonna butcher it, but they were the legal status of this name. That's what I could do, like I used to. I'm gonna say one thing. Reading all this is gonna make me get way better on my pronunciation. So that person got barred. Former Emory professor got barred from the country. I believe that's in Emory. They talking about the Emory in Georgia, I believe. Some quick hits. I should have did Shio. I did not do Shio in the beginning, and I'm so sorry, guys. Let's see. And I believe that's all we got for today. I didn't cover Shio. I feel bad about that. I didn't cover Shio. But that's pretty much it. What's that? Some crust. We didn't cover Shio in the beginning. Shio got some updates as always. I'll make sure to do that on Thursday for you guys. You see my edge up? Just terrible. Your boy's just looking terrible out here. Let me see if I can fix it while y'all on the live screen. Y'all probably like, what is he doing? Trying to fix this. My moisturizer drying up too. Who got an edge up I can get? So that's pretty much it though. And we'll be back Thursday. What, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? Yeah, we'll be back Tuesday. We'll be back Thursday. We'll be back Thursday. I appreciate everybody who stopped by for the live stream. I hope it was helpful. Remember, if you don't get anything out of this, if you made it this far into the live stream, remember to start at a 2-year and bridge to a 4-year under the articulation agreement and pathway agreement. That saves you $10,000 or more in college. I'm confident to say that because we've seen the school recently. Check out the University of Tennessee. I changed it to Dave Ramsey. I'm trying to get some views and figure that out. But because I know it's a popular school and a lot of people like to go there. But I'll take it out when we're done. And so definitely though, 2-year to 4-year articulation agreement. Make sure that 4-year has an articulation agreement with your 2-year. because you don't want to go to a 2-year that doesn't have an articulation or pathway agreement with the 4-year you desire to go to. You don't want to trap yourself essentially. So just make sure you look at all the agreements and pathways that university has with 2 years, or look and see what that 2-year has articulation agreements with the 4 years, so that you are aware of that before you go to college. Because remember, guys, it's getting very strategic out here with the way you got to go to school, save money, make money while in school, if you want to have your way in doing it all to build that strong foundation. And then once you have your education, you do whatever you want. You know, that's why I tell people, you get your education, do what you want. Like, I don't care if you go into sales and you never use your degree again. They can't take your piece of paper away from you. Right? Like all these people who are losing their job in colleges right now, at Yale, Princeton, all these colleges and universities, they can go to another college or university or a community college or whatever, right? And get another job because they have doctorate degrees, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, associate's degrees. They have education backgrounds. In order to work in higher education, usually you need a bachelor's degree, master's, or doctorates. And so that's the flexibility they have when they're getting laid off in these times right now. And so I love to reinforce, I feel like this is a really good time to tap in with us so you can save $10,000 or more, $8,000, $15,000 a year just by not staying on campus and not getting the meal plan. It's like life-changing information that I wish I would have known coming out of high school myself, because I did it luckily and it worked out. But man, if I could just been like, hey, homies, we ain't staying on campus, like this the blueprint right here. This dude talking about this on YouTube, bro. I'm telling you, this the blueprint, but we gotta listen to him. Bro, he went to grad school, he did it, he lived it, bro. I'm telling you, we gotta run with this, man. And so and you know, Al did it too for her graduate program. She's gonna speak on that a little more too. We got a little couch interview coming up, so she can highlight that a little bit, saying what she did. But it's very similar to the speaking on behalf methodology that can help a lot of students. So I hope you like this live screen. Please like and subscribe, share with somebody who could use it, and we'll see you Thursday. Peace, love, chick agrees, right?